costume designer. You may know me from some of my films like that Black Panther film, that little one. But before then, there's a whole journey of stories that I'd like to share with you, from school days through Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, and Babs. So come join me in my world, in my space of storytelling. I have always been intrigued by the stories told by Black poets, playwrights, and African griots. Reading Langston Hughes, Sonia Sanchez, Maya Angelou, and others like them gave me life. Through costume design, I was able to connect even more deeply to those stories when dressing the characters who came out of a script. I actually got into costume design because I loved the stories that the poets and the playwrights were telling. I could actually see these characters, and I really wanted to be a part of how we told stories through costume design and how we brought those stories and those people in particular to life. I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts, the youngest of 8 siblings. One afternoon, I unveiled a sewing machine tucked inside the desk in my room. I began making clothes from Singer sewing patterns, translating the cryptic words and directions. After graduating from high school, I followed my family legacy, studying special education at Hampton University, the historically Black college on the shores of Virginia. But I was still driven by the rich stories of African Americans and decided to follow that passion with a major in theater arts. I played the role of Benitha in A Raisin in the Sun and Alberta in Sty of the Blind Pig. My talents as an artist only fully emerged after a professor asked me if I thought I would like to do costumes for one of his plays. And that was the beginning of my journey. I realized that not only was I going to have the opportunity to explore one character, but I was going to explore all the characters. I could write arcs, their character arcs, I could do color palettes, I could figure out how they related to each other visually. That was the thing that hooked me into the costume design profession. And that's the truth, Ruth. You read the whole chapter?
Don't read the whole, no. We're not gonna read the whole chapter.
So start where
Yeah.
Yeah. Spike called us back to Brooklyn to do the right thing. And it was a protest film. And so much had happened in New York. Tawana Brawley's case was going on. Mike Tyson was a heavyweight champion of the world. David Dinkins was the mayor, first Black mayor in New York. And there was Yusuf Hawkins, who was slain in Bensonhurst, who was just, walking through the neighborhood. All of these things were going on. And one thing is for sure, when it's hot in New York, tempers rise. And Spike wanted to capture the tension of the city. I marveled at the fact that he wrote the first draft of the script in just 2 weeks. I took that in and thought of him as this maverick. And I especially wanted to know about the costumes he would ask me to create for the film, set in his childhood home, a place I had grown to love as well. Spike and I used to walk from his 40 acres office to a local cafe or restaurant to talk about our issues from the last film, easing unresolved tensions like who was stealing the Nikes from our warehouse. None of it seemed to matter as much anymore. Now we had a brand new script and a new story to craft. That's how it gets started. It's a conversation. It's two humans just sharing. It's learning and growing together. It's having a purpose or an intention. And with Spike, his stories had so much more meaning than just what was written on the page. So just like with School Days, where we were examining all the HBCUs, with Do the Right Thing, we were going to show the world our beloved Brooklyn. In 1987, I began the journey of creating my first feature film, School Daze. I was living in Koreatown in Los Angeles in a studio apartment with a nice view of the Hollywood sign. Early one morning, the phone rang. I answered, "Hello?" A voice on the other end said, "Ruth." I said, "Yes." The voice said, "Ruth." I said, "Yes." The voice said, "This is the man of your dreams." I then said, "Denzel?" The voice exclaimed, "No, this is Spike. I want you to be the costume designer for my next film, School Daze." I immediately quit my theater job. No contract, no negotiations, just trust and passion. School Daze was a lot, and it was my first time working with that many actors all at once. Spike was very strategic in how he actually dealt with them. So all the wannabes were staying in fancy hotels, and all the jigaboos was down and dirty in some kind of old motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. They would sometimes come to me and they were like, "We're protesting and we want this," and I was a part of it. We got through it, but it took a lot. Even though we were all the same age down there in Atlanta, it was hard because I was tasked with a huge responsibility, and so I couldn't hang out, couldn't go to the parties. I would just be tired. So I'd go to the hotel and, crash and get ready for, the next day's tasks. Spike liked to give names to his characters that told you a little bit about who they were. Bugging out. He wore these big, thick glasses that looked like he was bugging out. Radio Raheem carried a big old radio. Smiley and Mother Sister. Everybody knew Mother Sister. Every neighborhood has a Mother Sister. And our Mother Sister was Ruby Dee. We were so excited and so honored to have her on our set. What legend, what she represented in not only film, but in civil rights, what she saw as a human being, not only being this great, great actress. I went through so many beautiful scenarios in dressing Ruby Dee. I've always loved it when Ruby Dee was on the set. It felt like flowers had just arrived, like there was our own Black Hollywood royalty. She was always smiling, and we took great pride in treating her kindly. And so I dressed her like flowers on the windowsill. That's how I like to remember Ruby Dee. And that's the truth, Ruth. If you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe.